Okay. I forgot it goes on maximum brightness. All right. Yeah, I'm live. I hope they got that wonderful reaction from me because that was embarrassing. All right. I think we're charging.
Come on, kidlet.
And we got our tea, and we got our subject.
And we got my bottle.
All right, and I need to move the live chat over so I can see it. I love you.
I love you.
All right.
Get mommy's phone.
Yeah, grab mommy's phone and the cord. Pick up the cord.
All right, come on.
Mommy, get this.
Kids, man.
I want to check that.
What a wonderful experiment. Okay, so tonight we are doing another Decepticon unboxing. I love you too.
I want to hear.
I love you. Go take care of Mama.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, we're doing another Decepticon unboxing. The last one was Deathsaurus, and I enjoyed it so much. I thought I'd do it again. Welcome, Burke STFs. Burke STFs. All right, so tonight we're doing an unofficial figure. Last time we did HasLab Deathsaurus. Today we are same side. Today we're doing oversized Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Longhaul. I want to do something a little different on this unboxing. I wanted to share some sort of burgeoning thoughts I've had lately about sort of the state of, I guess, the fandom and the brand and the wider Hasbro as it is in its current state, late 2023, in our, wow, very futuristic year. But here is the big boy himself. Comes packaged in robot mode. So for a little context on this, I want to say Longhaul was the second of the Studio Series figures that I bought back when those were kind of still happening for the Bayverse. 2019, mid-2019, I think. I got it at the before COVID Comic-Con, Wizard World in Chicago, before the entire world changed, which I feel like the last time I saw the world change that much was in post 9/11. But not to get too political. Ooh, the Big Olive itself. Oversized Studio Series Longhaul. So, I got this guy. I think he was the second or third Constructicon I got from Studio Series. And I think he was the fourth one. I think he was the last one I got. And you know what? It was a combination of, I think, him, the Studio Series version, and the promo images for Devastator finally hitting. And I was just like, I'm not feeling it, man. Like, I'm not vibing with it. I didn't like the look of the Devastator. And so I was 4 Constructicons deep, and I just stopped. I ended up selling the Longhaul. It came with sort of like a pre-chewed on face. It seemed like I bought it brand new, but it was just like quality control was going down, and the images for Devastator weren't good, and I don't know, I was just kind of out. And I kept my Hightower because I am a filthy, filthy Hightower fanboy. I love that design. I love the insane sort of subsentient T-Rex that he turns into. So I did keep him from the Studio Series. And then late last year, my in-laws gave me a gift card. So I was like, you know what? I really love Hightower. I had the Legends version. I had the Studio Series official. And I was like, I want to get that big one. It's like leader class sized. It's gorgeous. I love it. It does a bunch of other stuff that like the original didn't do. It's got the arms. The head actually like rotates on this axis, not access. And I just, I was just all about it, and I got it, and I loved it, and I was like, that's it. That's all I need. And then that's what I thought. I thought that's what all I needed. And then I started deciding, like, hey, I I want that Devastator. Ever since 2009, I've wanted like a big leader class component Revenge of the Fallen Devastator, and $100 figure that came out then just was not it. That was not even close to it. And the Studio Series was let down. I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw in, and I'm just going to start getting these boys. So I ended up getting Mixmaster, and I've got who should be called Longhaul, but Overload. But obviously Josh and Izzy had already done this guy, so they couldn't call the red one Overload, and they couldn't not use this design for the guy that they hired for his concept art, his fan art, basically. Which Nizzy's story, man, that is is that a Cinderella story? I don't know. It's cool though. I follow him on Instagram, and his art, as always, is amazing, and I couldn't be happier for that guy's fan enthusiasm that catapulted him officially into the franchise. And this was the design that got him there. And so, yeah, this thing's beautiful. Definitely doesn't give me that lukewarm feeling that the Studio Series version did. Face isn't chewed up, which that's a plus right out the gate. I'm having to show up and down because I got YouTube and Instagram on different tiers. So bear with me as I look up and down. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them into the chat. But I actually have a question for you guys. So lately, I've noticed sort of a trend, not just in myself, but I think in the wider fandom for Transformers, and even beyond that with Hasbro in general, that there's sort of a, and I hate to say this, I hate to be a doomsayer, but sort of a waning element to the brand Transformers and the wider Hasbro. It just seems like, quality kind of, not just quality, but just like enthusiasm. And I kind of feel like maybe they overfed the G1ers. Like, I love G1 stuff. I love Deathsaurus. I'm exceedingly happy to have a Deathsaurus finally, but I kind of worry that they didn't feed the other generations, pun intended, of the brand, and fans, generations of fans, and so they've sort of kind of devoured their own tail at this point, and I don't feel like there's much more to give when you couple that with, lowering quality and upping prices and smaller sizes, and honestly, I think just sort of a mediocre approach to the shoot as many figures out as possible, that nothing feels special anymore. I was really happy to get Skylinks, and I'm over the moon to get Deathsaurus, who's actually kind of behind me. I can get him out if you guys want me to. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm looking at Transformers, and they've absolutely biffed with Power Rangers. They man, the Zap line did not. I don't know if any of y'all are in on the Zap line, but man, that just was not good. It got so, I don't think it was the deviation from the source material designs. I think as much as just the quality was just horrendous. I ended up not getting any of them. I've got the three Megazords proper from Mighty Morphin, and the three White Zords, Titanus, the Falcon, and the Tiger. But that was all before the Zap line ever came around. That was all still Bandai stuff that I was buying, and the Soul Chigoken Megazord. But I don't know. And then you think about what's going on with Star Wars right now, and the less said about that, the better. And I know that the fans are not happy with the toys. Yeah, the obscure stuff that's coming out, that's good. Like Tarn, that's I really. Okay. Sorry, I'm going through chat right now. Burkus TF says, I like the obscure stuff coming out. Totally agree. Deathsaurus, Star Saber, that's the HasLab stuff. Love that stuff. But Tarn, I know he's got a huge following, and people are gobbling that figure up. And the the Bludgeon Repaint. Sorry, I'm a Bonsai-tron fan. I love that. I love that Revenge of the Fallen figure. Sorry, I'm still getting over being sick. I love that figure. And obviously that's a 14-year-old figure at this point. But I don't know, just I think about anything smaller than leader class right now, and just not really much feels special. And I know I just mentioned Tarn, but I feel like if you want something that hits, you've got to buy leader class or bigger, and that's not really a sustainable model. I hate to say it. Ever since Brian Gold something died, the CEO of Hasbro, since he passed, like, things have really been going downhill, and I don't really want to attribute it to one person, but like, I don't know, it just feels kind of, yeah. Anyway, uh, and I had my issues with him because he was his decision to cancel TransTech, and I personally think TransTech would have saved the franchise from Beast Machines before Bavers had to come along and do that. So, oh, that's my opinion. Like, I'm not just hating on one person for that, but I can't help but feel like that maybe isn't a factor, whoever the new person is coming along. So hey man, how are you doing? What topic? So this is the Revenge of the Fallen oversized knockoff Longhaul, which I wasn't really super happy with the Studio Series version. So I decided to jump in on the KO. Sorry, Antagony was incredible. So I'm like first and foremost a Beast Wars fan, and all that Kingdom stuff that came out, and by extension some of the Legacy stuff, something about it just wasn't hitting. I don't know what it was. Like, I bought them all because, like, I'm a filthy, filthy Beast fan. Probably shouldn't word it like that, but like, I don't know. There was something hollow about it. I think the only ones that really hit for me were Dinobot and God, don't tell me that was it. The Rhinox was awful. I gave that to my son. I was done with that. Um, Yeah, I'd love it if they do a Shocker Act, because it means they would have probably started with a Rampage, whom I love, and I did a huge custom figure of back in the, not a huge figure, but like a huge custom back in the day. The BotCon one was too big and too expensive. What, of Antagony? I feel like that mold, the Inferno mold from Legacy, is about the same size as I want to say it's the same size as the 97 Beast Wars figure, but I don't think I've transformed my 97 figure because it is not in good condition. So, but as far as this figure goes, this is the kind of special I'm talking about. And obviously you don't need, and it's not really feasible to have special from every toy that they put out, but that Voyager Longhaul that came out with the Studio Series just wasn't it for me. The quality control was bad on it, like the chewed up face and everything. So this thing's got like individual fingers, that's just mental to me. Each one of these fingers has two joints in it. So, 4 fingers, you got 8 joints just on the hand on each side, on each side. God, this thing looks good. The paint detail, and I know it's copyright dodging or whatever, but like, this thing feels good. This is the kind of special I'm talking about. Like, it just, I could make a meal with this thing. It's so beefy. All right, man. Hasbro actually needs to market their product and release them on time and put effort into the cartoon toy line. What do you mean by the cartoon toy line? Do you mean the current Earthspark, which I was super into for the first half? I was so into Earthspark, and then they just started like shoving in so many characters. It's like, no, finish with Thrash and Twitch. I want their story to be complete. You think about Beast Wars, and you had like 5 and 5, right? And not everything can be compared to Beast Wars because it's perfect. It's Beast Wars, Like, they had 5 and 5, and then they introduced, over the course of 26 episodes, 2 more characters on each side, 1 per every 13 episodes per faction. And you got a chance to like know these characters, and about 2 characters on each team didn't get fully developed, but you had a solid 5 guys that got like, or gals, they got like a full thing. And I feel like with Earthspark, I just didn't get that with Twitch and Thrash. I feel like, we skipped so much. So anyway, are you talking about that toy line, or are you talking about other stuff? You're right, Mr. Phyllis. Thank you, D James 0695. The toys with effort are the leaders. Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing. I got that TM2 Megs. I hate Transmetal 2 Megatron. But everyone's raving about it, right? So it's like, all right, well, it is a Beast toy. I do want to support Hasbro making more Beast Wars toys. So I decided to throw in on that. I love it. It's making me enjoy a version of a character I cannot stand. And not just because of Beast Machines. I hated the way it looked on screen. But that figure, barring one tiny error, one issue I have with it, I love it. I love that figure. That thing is great. It's solid. The only complaint I have is the back panel doesn't plug in very well. I think she was just incredible because of her size. She's the right size. Oh, we're talking about Antagony. Yeah, with the Cyber Beast. Oh, dude, I love the Cyber Beast from Beast Wars 2. Oh my God, what a great. I have two of them. I have Dirge Gun and I have um, Max B. I would love to get Thrustor. Oh my God, I'm either way on Hellscream, but man, Thruster, I would love to get that, like a proper Transmetal 2 Dinobot. Oof, love it, love it, love it. All right, we should first of all have a full cartoon toy line in Generations. I think I lost you. And Generation should be secondary. Yes, we are not feeding the incoming generations, the younger kids and teenagers, even and adults that are open to new stuff. Like I'm totally open to new stuff. I loved Cyberverse. I bought way too much Cyberverse stuff. I was totally down for Earthspark, and it just as a story lost me. It got a little too weird in that latter half. Yeah, the cartoon stuff, like that's feeding your next generation, man. You've absolutely got to feed the next generation. What's wrong with BM Megs? What's wrong with Beast Machines Megatron? I don't have time to to list off all that. You know what? If you're a Beast Machines fan, that's fine. There's a lot of stuff I genuinely love about Beast Machines. I just hate it more than I love it. So he's inconsistent both in terms of himself as a Beast Wars character and within Beast Machines as an isolated chunk of fiction on its own. So, and he's in a house coat all the time. You know, I hate the moo. All right, give me a moment. I'm getting dry again. So anyway, yeah, I want to talk about Longhaul. Yeah, he's good, isn't he? That's like, this is good. This is a good toy. There's not much to say. They added a bunch of joinage. They added a bunch of paint. They added these little tendon thingamahoos that's here that I think are supposed to come out. Let me see. Give me a second. Yep, those come out for transformation. I'm probably going to leave them off, honestly. I know they store somewhere in the other modes, but like I don't need actual like 80s proper kibble. I'm fine with him having his Optimus Primal sans hydraulic piston ankles, and I'm fine with it. That though, that's good. So I'm gonna squeeze in a size comparison real quick. Something totally unrelated. Here he is next to another leader class con leader that I don't particularly care for, but had to jump on because the figure kind of got raving reviews. Like I've been needing a Galvatron anyway. And I really was hemming and hawing about the Titans Return one for a long time, but that faceplate was just yikes. So I would have liked him to be a triple changer because I feel like him having a jet mode. Megatron should always be a jet, in my opinion. Make the fusion cannon the thruster. You know what? Make him a triple changer and turn into a tank. Titans Return was perfect for Megatron for me. But yeah, no. In lieu of that, this is a really good figure. Definitely worth leader class, in my opinion. It feels special. Again, that leader class price point is the only thing that's feeling special right now. Let's see. I got a comment on YouTube. You have to try hard to mess up a Dinobot. Yeah, that's true. And I feel like even with the Beast Wars Dinobot they released in Kingdom, he was a little small. I would have gladly paid the leader price point if they'd made him like a head taller than all the other figures and maybe added just a little bit more engineering, because he's a solid Voyager. He's a good figure. I'm worried about the ankles a little bit because they're really tight and really thin, but you know, let's see. There's a podcast that covers what's wrong with Beast Machines. Yeah, that's my podcast with my wife. And oh man, yeah. I appreciate a lot about Beast Machines. I really do. It's just you are not the only Beast Machines fan. There is I don't want to call people out. The initials of this person's screen name are HG. If you know who that person is, then you know who that person is. And I'm not making any statements about them, but they are one of the bigger Beast Machines fans. And realistically, I am a Beast Machines fan. In a sense, I grew up partially on it. I caught every episode when it aired on Saturday mornings alongside Digimon 02 and yeah, just Digimon 02. And I've got a lot of love for it, despite the fact that it makes me feel sick to my stomach. So I was also lukewarm on Hellscream, but after getting them all, he's my second favorite Maximal after Max B. Dude, man, tell me that Thruster isn't beautiful though. I love Thruster. All right, exactly. Lord Starscream C53, hello. Burke, I've been talking to you. D. James. Curiously, how do you feel about Unicron Trilogy Megatron? So I don't want to like dump on other people's versions of the franchise because, there are things about the things that I love about the franchise that aren't great. I'm a big Bayverse fan, I'm a big Beast Wars fan. And I'm sure you can pick out any number of things with those continuities that have issue. But to not offend my UT friends, I feel like it was a really low point quality wise for the franchise. And I feel like Beast Machines is at fault for that. I feel like it's very much responsible for doing a lot of damage to the franchise. After Beast Wars effectively saved it, Beast Machines shot it in the foot again. And, you know, I know there's a lot of UT love out there. I was in late middle school and high school watching the UT, I think entirely in high school watching the UT. Like, I watched it. It just didn't grab me. So, I like that he's voiced by David Kaye, obviously a freaking saint of voice actor and human being. But yeah, I'm not a fan, and I'm also not a huge anime person, and you'll need to understand that when the UT was airing, I was hugely into anime, and it still wasn't grabbing me. I did try and go back and start with Armada in 2011, and I just couldn't do it. So, not meaning to insult your continuity of choice, but man, it's not me. It's just not, and I think it did hurt the franchise. I think the Bayvers had to come along and kind of save us from the damage Beast Machines did, and the UT's sort of mediocre pulling in of other fans. Beast Machines is equally as wonderful as it is horrible. Genuinely accurate statement, because there's a lot of beauty and creativity and just honestly sort of integrity out of not integrity, but like just unwarranted effort for a cartoon that unfortunately invites a higher level of criticism. And because the legitimate criticisms that can be made about it are so big as it is to begin with, you just end up steamrolling it with what's wrong, because it genuinely is a very ugly show. Contextually, it's just, it's got that negative. Love how Beast Machines took over this live. Yeah. Talk about the thing in your hand. Okay. Yeah. Longhaul. So kind of double entendre. I'm talking about the long haul, and I'm talking about the long haul of being a fan. So there's sort of this thing with me right now, where I kind of feel like this Devastator that I'm completing is kind of like it. And I'm not saying it's the end. I'm by no means getting out of this thing anytime soon. But it does feel like there's sort of a point on my collection, and I feel like this Devastator, knockoff as it is sort of it. Now I gotta remember how to transform this, because I sold my long haul some time ago, a couple of years ago, and let's get this thing in dump truck mode. Dump truck. But yeah, like, I didn't hate it. I was so lukewarm on it, and that Devastator image was bad. That and you know what I don't like? I made my peace with boring gray plastic from the early Bayverse stuff, but I couldn't get behind that dark gray, boring plastic they were using for Studio Series, and it kind of works in some cases. Like it really works with Leadfoot and what's his name, Roadbuster. Like I love those two records, and I already had Top Kick from Dark of the Moon, the Dark of the Moon Deluxe, which is a pretty stellar figure for a representation of a character who literally had no lines until the last night and a different head. So, in some cases I feel like it works, but it never looked good on Optimus. It never looked, God, that Sentinel looked awful to me. I did not like that leader class Sentinel. And I love Sentinel. I love my leader class 2011 Sentinel Prime. I'm not going to try and move this setup, but just trust me, I have it. I got it with one of those $5 off discount coupons. Does anyone remember those? Those $5 off coupons. I loved those things. So, let's see, remember how to do this. It looks like it's got a couple extra steps in here. Maybe not. Oh boy, let's not break it. Oh boy, that is very tight. That is very tight. Okay, I know this has to go here, and I don't know how to get it there without seriously compromising the structural integrity of this child's plaything. Okay. What do you think about Toy Story 5? That's happening. I love how Disney's like, no more sequels. And then they put out 4 bombs in a row in 1 year. And they're like, we're doing all sequels from here on out. After Wish, they're just doing sequels. I legitimately don't know what to do here. But yeah, I want your opinions. Tell me what you think about the franchise. Do you think Transformers and Hasbro as a wider brand is waning? Because, there we go. As a somebody who doesn't like to make those speculations, I'm starting to see the writing on the wall. They just haven't fed their customer base, which is what we are, well enough. And I think in terms of growing, I think there's a lot of damage that does that isn't visible. It's invisible damage, if that makes any sense. Tell me what you think. All right. See if I can get this into truck mode. Truck mode. That can't be right. That's probably for the... Oh, okay. I didn't need to rotate that. So they painted these missiles on here, these little peggy things, which I always assumed were like brass knuckles for him to like punch. But yeah, painting them red makes me think they were intended to be... I don't remember the Josh Nizzy design of the fact that it was like mentally balls awesome. Oh God, it was so big. Oh, just like the big green Hulk aspect of his design, and like also being true to the source material, which really wasn't all that important to me. Because like, tell me one thing about G1 cartoon Longhaul. One thing. Tell me something about him as a guy. But like at the same time, the design looked amazing. I don't think he was that big in the movie. Maybe he was. I don't know. They were all huge in the movies. Bumblebee turned into a 16-foot tall robot. And when you consider the fact that, most vehicles, for all intents and purposes, are hollow, it's like, even the Rise of the Beast characters are based on that logic. Based on that logic is a little big. But, like, they look good, don't they? I like Rise of the Beast Bumblebee. He looks good. And you know what? I don't want to spend $25 on his deluxe figure because, oh, man. That's just, first of all, even without being a household with a 4-year-old, that is we have a lot of Bumblebees. But, now that we have a kid that's decided Bumblebee is his favorite Transformer, we got a lot of Bumblebees. All right, so there we go. There's the dump truck mode. The problem with an extensive franchise story is that you're content to reflect those characters' lives. A life has past of bad stuff and eventually death. So a long storyline is destined tool? I don't know. I don't know what you meant. Problem with the long-lasting franchise is that it stops being a short fantasy. Well, and that they started rebooting after Beast Machines because that was just such a disaster. And I don't blame them, kind of. Like, I'm still sad we didn't get Trans Tech. You know what we would have gotten in Trans Tech that we didn't because we didn't get Trans Tech? Depth Charges Revival. And it looked kind of cool. I don't know. The concept art was kind of nice. I don't know how I feel about like some of the animalistic vehicles that they were designing, but it maybe I would have been behind it if I'd actually witnessed it. What do we got here? Check YouTube comments. Oh, yeah. So, so yeah, there's our dump truck. It's big and it's awesome. And yeah, that's kind of all that can be said. What I really love about these Constructicons from Revenge of the Fallen is they allow me to combine the things I love about Bayverse with my love of the Beast era, because I can just say these are Viacon Generals. Because with the exception of Longhaul here, who was designed before the movie came out or before the movie was in production, they're all freaks. I love them. It's a whole ass gaggle of freaks. Look at this thing. Look at this. Overload. And yeah, I did some things to her. I made Overload a girl. Bite me. But that is mental. I mean, granted, she should totally be called Long Haul because she's literally a long hauler. But yeah, love these things. Love them, love them, love them. Can't get enough of them. Oh, sorry, drying out. What do we got? Burkus TFs. He got revived in the Universe 2003 comic. Even grumpier, too. And that's great, but, like, not the biggest comic fan. Like, I've read some comics that I like, but I don't know. It's just not really my whole jive. So, God, you know what I would have given 13 years ago, 14 or whatever, to have live action leader class Constructicons. Oh my God, this is a dream come true. And I hate that I'm jumping on this bandwagon when it is straight up impossible to find scrap metal. And he's the only one I haven't bought. Oh, yeah, we gotta love Depth Charge though. I think moreover, Depth Charge is very dependent on Rampage to be cool. And realistically, I mean, Rampage is his Joker, right? And I think he needs. I think Batman is like cool on his own without Joker. I think Depth Charge is dependent on him. I can't get these to stay. Maybe I got them backwards. I'm trying to put on these tendon things, which are, yeah, they can do that. So if you want them, so anyway, love Depth Charge, love Rampage that much more. Any questions we have about Long Haul or the metaphorical long haul of the collecting and being a part of this fandom and a Hasbro collector? I'm going to try and get this thing into foot mode. Because honestly, I want to see how big it is. You know what they say about guys' foot. So, no, it's funny because recently probably a couple of months ago after Ahsoka came out, I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with Star Wars. I can't do it anymore. I can't keep going back to the abuse. It's just, because it gripped me. It's sad because I wanted to watch Ahsoka to sort of like get some cheap laughs of how bad it was going to be because I didn't like Ahsoka as a character. And oh man, I was super into it. Like, it was something about Ray Stevenson, R.I.P. His performance was really gripping me, and I was like, okay, maybe they're changing up the approach to this. And then we got to the finale, and it was just another, it was just so much nothing, And like my wife the whole time was like, I'm not into this. I'm not vibing with it. And I was like, no, I'm actually super into this. And out of the two of us, I'm the critical one. So it's this character I don't like because my introduction to Ahsoka was the 2008 movie. Depth Charge is Joker. No, Depth Charge is Batman. Depth charge is not Joker. Get your head out of your butt. I know who you are. I see you, person. I see you. I hear the laughing. I just what was it? Yeah, so I decided to like just get out. I'm done. I'm done with Star Wars. I'm not doing it anymore. Um, just because it was too much of like honestly, realistically, too much heartache. And I know that's a weird thing to say about a franchise, but it's true. It was just couldn't do it anymore. I do not know where these hands go. I should probably look at the instructions, but I'm not gonna. All right, I know that goes down there. Is that bend like that? No, I don't know. I don't know. Figure it out. It's all having a good time, right? Sorry, I heard laughing. Yeah, it's so refreshing to like see the negative comments of Star Wars fans and just be like, I'm not a part of that anymore. I don't have to be. I just want to enjoy what I enjoy. And yeah. All right, you know what? I do have to look at the instructions. Give me a moment. Just because I need to see what the foot looks like. There are no instructions. So, yeah. Anyway, here's Hightower, my favorite of the Constructicon freakos. So we can put him right there. Can you all see that? Yeah. You know, usually I have a wrecking ball hanging from here, and I suspect there's a 4-year-old responsible for why it's not there. I just know it. I like to make the wrecking balls actually useful in their robot modes. Oh my god, I do not know how this works, and I don't have a phone to look up the instructions. Ugh! Does the hands go in there? Or do they go in there? I'm going to figure this out, people. I know it's important. All right. Oh, I think I've got it. All right. I know this is great content. There we go. So that plugs in there. That plugs in there. Oh my god, this thing's going to be huge. It's going to be enormous. I'm so excited for this thing. So I've got 3 more on the way. This is my 4th one that I've gotten. Also a Christmas gift from my in-laws. So they are mostly entirely responsible for me getting this thing. If I ever get dude, I don't know what happened to the scrap metals, man. You can't find them anywhere. I have gone to the darkest corners of the not dark web and I cannot find it. It doesn't exist anymore. So, man, I'm getting so close and it just like keeps coming undone. What music are we listening to today, people? What's our musical choices? I've been struggling with music lately. I always go through these phases where I just can't stand music like a gorilla, and I don't know why. All right, I do not know. Whatever. Close enough. This thing's gonna be enormous. Yeah, he's gonna be huge. I'm so excited for this thing. I'm probably gonna end up having to buy a second scrapper just to have an arm for him, and then weirdly, Hightower is not going to end up being a part of it, so I got to have him on the side. And yeah. All right. Well, I don't think I have anything else to add. Just doing sort of some impromptu unboxings as these arrive. He's literally taller in foot mode, and Galvatron is in robot mode. That is, and he's not even a whole leg. He's like half a leg. This is half a leg. Anyway, I don't think I have anything else, unless any questions that pop in at the last second. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna be receiving a couple more of these in the next week or so. So stay tuned if you found this video interesting and or less than boring. And yeah, y'all have a good one. Peace. And how do I stop this? I don't know how to stop this one. There we go. End stream. End.